The point of today is that sometimes people hear, oh, billionaire scaling strategies. Like, what? If I go to this mastermind, I'll become a billionaire? Like, okay, well, if you were not cynical, you would, right? So thank you. The point of today is really to study winners in the game of capitalism. And the point is to change the inputs into the brain, how you scale a platform, scale a business, and how the winners have done so. And if you can shift percentage of information you're getting from the most successful, from people who are moderately successful, probably going to change your results and your effectiveness. And that's really looking to do by investing our time in places like this. And scientifically proven, if you digest a whole bunch of information that is from a certain political party or from a certain type of people, it'll change how your brain operates. You'll see you see money differently. And many billionaires, ultra successful, are abundance mindset. They bootstrapped. They had to be resourceful and thrifty, just like you have been as an entrepreneur, most likely, if you're here in the room today. And most of it is aimed on people who are very good at this, but that's their business. And I'd say that in pretty confidence because at our events, we'll survey 800 people, 700 people on a phone, and we'll say, how many of you have read hundreds of business books, or at least 100 business books? And most people's hands will go up. But then I'll say, how many of you have read over 20 books that were authored by a billionaire? And 0 hands will go up, or 1 hand will go up, or at most we've seen 5 hands go up. So most of us are reading books for people who are really good at marketing their book, not really good at business compared to billionaires, right? If it's a worst rumor, the most worst written book ever, if it's written directly from the billionaire and filtered by someone trying to sound fancy or look fancy or position themselves, and it's just the direct from a billionaire. That's what I want to be digesting. And the difference is learning basketball from someone, say, Duke University, clicker's time now, you Daphne, versus if you could learn free throws and shooting free throws from Michael Jordan, right? Who would you read the book from? Like, obviously read a book from Michael Jordan first, right? And so that's what today is about. It's not about, if you do this thing, then you're going to become ultra wealthy. It's more about what are the 100 seemingly requirements that are table stakes for being very successful, and mixing a whole bunch of golden threads that tie together a lot of these families to each other. And really emphasizing that if you had a chance to read a book from Jordan on fundamentals of basketball versus a Duke University player, obviously you can find it from Jordan, but that's not what any of us do. We're all studying the people good at marketing their blog in their newspaper articles or in books, etc. And so we're going to shine a light on that today. A little bit of an agenda here, modifying what the planned agenda was, just to do what I thought would have the most value for today, and to adjust to some speaker schedules. And so early in the day, we're going to go over a bunch of common traits. These are things almost every billionaire that we've studied does. And there's always some unusual people who do none of those things, and we do worth $1 billion plus, and maybe 10 or 20% of people worth $1 billion simply mostly got lucky. But most billionaires are very hardworking, and they do a lot of these different things. And that is true for people that are worth 20 million, 50 million, or 100. It doesn't really matter what your dollar goal is. Your goal could be to play golf every day and only work 3 hours a day. Your goal could be to buy your parents or your siblings a house and retire when you're 55. Your goal could be whatever. It's just about trying to scale a platform, scale your business more effectively. And that's what we're going to be covering today. We're going to look for unusual things that are very common among billionaires. So I have completed 40 exclusive interviews with billionaires, like Cuban, Tony Robbins, Cardone has come and spoke at many of our events. Larry Neimer, the founder of eChannel, sold for $3 billion. She's spoken to 2 of our events now. Jack Hoffman, who invented the airport tech and kiosks, he's an early investor of Priceline.com and Booking.com, has spoken at our events twice now. We just did a fireside chat with him. And it's really interesting to look at what almost all the ultra successful do, but almost nobody I know does. Right? That's like the most valuable golden thread to look for and try to focus on. And I think to implement the types of ideas we're talking about, you have to not listen to the opinions of a lot of people around you, and really listen to your own gut, business feedback from your own customers, and then really filter primarily from the people who are the most successful. So we're going to try to provide you with a buffet of options so that we might not like. That's fine. Some ideas maybe are for later, not for right now. So it's like a Ritz-Carlton lunch buffet. You're not expected to eat everything in front of you. It's like you pick and choose what looks good to you right now. Same some ideas for later. Feel free to raise your hand and contribute an idea that's better or smarter, or like another case study of something that we're talking about here. If you have an example for the room, we try to avoid, a stand-up pitch of like, oh, hey, Ryan from Austin, and I do self-storage, and I want to invest in my self-storage deal. It's really great. It's 5% returns. We try to avoid like a pitch to the whole room type question if we can. And then, if you want political commentary, you can go to any social media platform in the world today and be barraged by that. So trying to have any, offensive religious political statements is just really not the purpose of being here. But I would love for it to be interactive. But some of these will have one question the whole day. Sometimes we'll have 50 prominent questions the whole day. So typically, the more interactive, the better for everybody.
Join the Family Office Club by visiting familyoffices.com. We look forward to seeing you at our next live event.